Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the regular board meeting of Dundee Township for September 2025. I call this meeting to order at 7 o'clock p.m. Madam Clerk, please do the roll call.
Trustee Day.
Here.
Trustee Drake.
Here.
Trustee Fixker.
Here.
Trustee Harney.
Here.
Supervisor Shaw.
Here. Thank you. We have a quorum. I ask that you all rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. President Avalar, please lead us.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen.
Well, what is it? Every time he says amen now, I think it's more clear how it's got a statement.
Especially now.
Public comment. This portion of the meeting where anyone in the audience who wishes to address the board may do so. We ask that you come forward and state your name, spelling of your last name, for the record. Under township policy, each speaker is limited to 3 minutes. The total time of public participation is limited to 45 minutes. We will get through as many people as possible in that time frame. However, after 45 minutes, the public comment portion will close as the board does have business to complete for tonight's agenda. We know that many are here this evening to address the social media post regarding the death of Charlie Kirk made by one of our trustees. We ask you to keep in mind that public comment is not question and answer session, nor is it time for board to address the public. It is public's time to address the board, and we will listen. I reiterate what I said in a statement on Friday. No one in this country should ever face violence for their political beliefs. The loss of Charlie Kirk is a tragedy, and our thoughts are with his loved ones during this difficult time. Board members, like all residents, are entitled to their personal opinions, but those views are their own and do not represent the township. We strongly condemn political violence in every form, and we reject any attempt to celebrate or encourage such acts. It is the objective of this board and the township to serve each and every one of our 65,000 residents equally, regardless of personal opinions and political beliefs. Every resident should feel comfortable to bring their concerns to us. We want the township to be unified. Trustee Fixmer has asked me for the opportunity to make a statement before the public comment portion of tonight's meeting. In my capacity as acting member of the board, I have willingly agreed to let him do so. I ask that the public be respectful of Trustee Fixmer and listen to what he has to say.
Thank you, Supervisor. Sometimes people who embrace kindness say mean things. A few days ago, I was that person. A comment was made in a private group, and I responded in hurt and anger. It was a knee-jerk reaction, and folks were surprised that it came from me. I'm surprised that it came from me. It's been said that your first reaction to something is what society or culture teaches you to think, and the second reaction is what you really think. I would like to share what that second reaction was after I had time to cool off. I'm not glad when someone dies of violence. We all know people who have been affected by violence or have been ourselves. So as hurtful as Charlie Kirk's words were to myself and countless others, his death is still a tragedy. In the Unitarian Universalist tradition, there's a set of principles that we strive to live by. The first principle is Unitarian Universalists affirm the inherent worth and dignity of each person. That includes people we don't like, and that's one of my core beliefs. So when I stated that I was glad he's gone, I not only disappointed myself, but my faith. I also severely disappointed members of the community. I want to be clear about something. Yes, I am making this statement because my comment, which was far out of character for me, is because a handful of people chose to put it on blast on social media. However, I mean every word I am saying here. My error is human, the statement is genuine. Maybe this is too little too late. If so, I ask that you keep this in mind for the next person who makes this type of mistake. Engage in dialogue, embrace compassion, and let us all do better. Thank you.
With that being said, is there anyone who wishes to address the board at this time?
Hi, Tom Foley.
Here.
Yes, please. Mr. Foley, you have 3 minutes.
Good evening. My name is Tom Foley, F-O-L-E-Y, member of First Congregational Church of Dundee, the church on the hill over there on 31. We want to thank the township for wonderful cooperation over the years with doing tree planting, hay rides, litter pickup, planting flowers and stuff, especially over at Jelky Creek, which is just down the street from our church. So it's especially convenient. And we want to participate gladly and thoughtfully with questions and answers about opening future projects for our church and other groups that may want to go on to Jelky Creek or some other of the open spaces in order to enhance and protect it for the future. You can count on us. Thank you.
Linda Prestia.
Hi.
Supervisor Shaw and all the trustees, I really appreciate this. I'm Linda Prestia, P-R-E-S-T-I-A, and this is my first time ever attending a meeting at the township. I just want to let you know that I am here to discuss what you posted on social media. And I have a gay brother.
Can't hear you. Sorry.
I have gay people in my family. I am conservative, and my son came home and shared what you posted on social media. He attends the high school in Algonquin, and he couldn't believe that an elected official posted that without flinching. But what's worse is that he told me that you are a grief counselor at the Unitarian Church in Elgin. And my question is, if you are coaching people on grief, perhaps maybe you shouldn't be. This is stated publicly that you are a grief counselor. I have the proof documenting this. But my feeling is that as Christians, we're supposed to give grace and we're supposed to offer forgiveness to those who seek it. And if you're genuine in your request for that you are sorry and that you want us to forgive you, you have my forgiveness. But my worry is that my son, my daughter, will see you one day in public, and that's what they're going to equate you with, is that post that you put up. There's a saying that you're supposed to taste your words before you spit them. When you're writing, you can see your words, and perhaps maybe you need to really think twice before you hit send or click. And that's the lesson to be learned, I think. You are an elected official for just 3 months and this happened. And I worry that a lot of partisan politics on the left has become very rabid, and we have an assassination culture. My son goes to the high school and he's scared all the time someone's going to lose their marbles. I implore you to publicly put your statement out and say that you do not mean what you say. You do not mean that you support and you're glad that someone was assassinated in front of my children. And maybe then, maybe my children will feel that you are genuine. And that's all I have to say.
Matt, I apologize for not pronouncing it correctly.
Good evening, Supervisor Shaw, board members, and neighbors of Dundee Township. My name is Matt Kaplan, K-O-T-A-K-A. A resident and a parent speaking with a heavy heart. The murder of Charlie Kirk on September 10th shook us all. While many in the community were mourning, to learn the trustees post that they're glad he's dead is not just heartless, it's a wound to our community soul. While Supervisor Shaw's response to condemned violence is focused on forgiveness and past municipal acts of kindness, feel dismissive when our children are watching and family men's life is taken. Let's not get saturated by irrelevant details. So my question Kirk's views or his contributions to this country, but that misses the point. Kirk's legacy was about igniting debate, founding Turning Point USA to push young people to challenge ideas with reason, not hate. Labeling him as hateful, as some do to those with different views, is a dangerous trap. It fuels division, even violence, like the tragedy that took him from us. Our kids deserve a future where disagreement doesn't mean demonizing each other. In Charlie Kirk's own words, when people stop talking, really bad stuff starts. When marriages stop talking, divorce happens. When civilization stop talking, civil war ensues. When you stop having human connection with someone you disagree with, it becomes a lot easier to want to commit violence against you. That Trotti's post didn't just mock Charlie's dad. It cheered silencing of the voice for finding an objective truth, for debating our ideas, and sometimes agreeing to disagree, something we seem to have forgotten how to do. For those of us who quietly tolerated this toxic rhetoric, Kirk's murder is the turning point. We can't say stop when leaders excuse cruelty with stories of good deeds. Supervisor Shaw, your call for forgiveness risks letting hate fester. The lapse in judgment shown by the trustee in question shows weakness of character. Our community is stronger than that. We teach our children to debate, not divide, to engage, not erase. As a resident, I'm looking to you, our leaders, to show the way. Show that no matter what your beliefs are, you deserve to see your children grow up. You have the power to hold accountable those who celebrate loss and reject rhetoric that paints opponents as enemies. For our residents, for our kids, I urge you to make our community a place where every voice is respected and not despised. Lead us towards unity, not division. Let this be our turning point. To the trustee in question, please resign for the better of the community.
Brian, and I apologize, Brian K.
My name is Brian Kaplan, K-A-P-N-I-C-K. And thank you, Supervisor, for allowing us the opportunity to address the board. As the other residents have said, there were some very repugnant things said on Facebook, and I have a hard time forgiving those. And as an elected official, your words mean more than anybody else's. You need to temper what you say on Facebook. You need to read before you make it public. And I want to reiterate what the other speakers have said, that you need to think about resigning, because that is not what an elected official should be, representing our community. Thank you.
Courtney Ball.
My name is Courtney Bowe, B-O-E. I'm the village president of Sleepy Hollow. Sorry it's been a while. Last time I was here was when you guys all took your oaths. Been following up with what you've been doing. I've just recently learned of some of what's going on today. I actually am here not with any complaints from Sleepy Hollow, but rather to wax poetic on open spaces. Sorry for the abrupt shift. Yesterday I was out with the Wild Prairie Pickers. We were at Snuffy's. And I just want to thank everybody, because before that I was at Dixie, then I was at Snuffy's. I started doing this a year ago. A year ago, I looked at those fields and I thought it was grasses and dead flowers. I didn't know which ones they were, but I knew they were there, or there was purple and yellow ones. And this time I walked up and I ran into Trustee Drake there. And not only was I able to pick the 6 flowers we were picking that day, because I could recognize the dead seeds, but I found green gentian, and I found blue gentian, and then I looked over and we discussed all the different types of goldenrods. And for those of you who have not had an opportunity to come out to open spaces, I implore you, particularly with the anger and the frustration and the divisiveness we have these days, and our addictions to phones, if you have the luxury of the time, please come out on a Tuesday morning from 9 until 12. You don't need to know anything. These wonderful women, some who work in the audience, will teach you. They will show you examples of the seeds to pick. And what's great is you stand there and you listen to the wind coming over the grasses. You learn about the plants. You learn how we're all connected around here and what came before us and why we have this amazing community that we do. Yes, I'm an environmentalist. I'm sorry. So clearly I have that personal bent, but I do, especially with everything that's going on these days. Take a moment to give yourself some time to just be present, engage, and consider what the township is giving us and what we can give back to the township. So I appreciate your support, and I encourage you to continue making open spaces a priority and recognizing its value. Thank you so much, all. And please do not resign. Thank you.
Mark Apple.
Good evening. Mark Avalar of Algonquin, Illinois. I've been a 30-year resident of Dundee Township, and I am here to pivot back to the Charlie Kirk. But I'm going to Charlie Kirk assassination, but I want to use the same approach I used when I addressed the peaceful protest on Monday at the D300 Central Office. Clearly, I'm solely speaking as an individual resident. Full context of what happened, and all of us are still trying, even a week after what happened in Orem, Utah. What hurt a lot more, and which has not been said, but up until last Wednesday, the nation was also reeling from what happened in Charlotte, North Carolina, with the brutal murder of Irina Zarutska, the 23-year-old Ukrainian war refugee who escaped the war-torn country with her mother and siblings, where her father was still fighting in the war, and she was brutally murdered, completely without provocation on her part. And that was also on social media, and that is another context of then immediately after that was made public, the Charlie Kirk assassination. So understand that when members of the community, this is happening across the country, you've probably read about on social media, people are being dismissed from their jobs, fired for careless comments saying, I'm sorry, it was tragic, but, no, it's tragic, period. There's no rationalization to this. It was murder. Just like we saw with Irina, that was murder. And then I'm explaining to people why the suspect in that murder in Charlotte is afforded the constitutional protections of is he fit to stand trial because he has a history of mental health issues. His family couldn't even get a guardianship. And obviously what we can glean from that, we can bring back to Dundee Township through our work with the Mental Health Board. But that full context may have been forgotten or may have just been overlooked. And yes, and just like at last week's meeting of the Mental Health Board, I did acknowledge what happened in the assassination in Minnesota, as well as the attempted assassination in that same state. In full context, and something I'm going back to, we all learned from Me Too. It's not your intention that counts, it's how is it received. And each of us, in any level of responsibility, whether as an individual private citizen, an appointed board member, a volunteer, or definitely as an elected official, ask oneself that same question, because you have to remember, someone's going to read this. Are they going to read this with your understanding, or are you, as the writer, going to be attempting to understand where they're going to come from if they see something? And this is more so with School Board President Nancy Zettler's comment. Please remember Me Too. Thank you for the time.
Jerry Stegmiller.
Thank you so much. I've heard wonderful things said this evening. I don't need to speak right now.
Thank you. Is there anybody else who wishes to speak? Oh, there's a hand.
I didn't sign up to speak. My name is Kim Shawcross, and I'm in Dundee Township. My son wanted to be here with me tonight. He couldn't make it, unfortunately, due to mental health reasons. But he wanted me to make sure I had a clear message to the board that Henry should not resign. Thank you.
Is there anyone else who would like to address the board? Okay. I will close this portion of the meeting. This evening, we have a presentation from Ed Tracy of Selden Fox on fiscal year 2025 financial audit. Mr. Tracy, thank you for being here. The floor is yours, sir.
Thank you for having me here this evening. I am here to present on our annual financial report for the Dundee Township for the fiscal year ending February 28, 2025. As an audit firm, our job is to provide an opinion on the financial statements as prepared by management. An audit provides reasonable but not absolute assurance of the fairness and presentation of the audit. We always take a look at, when we do the audit, we always take a look with materiality in mind. We're not looking at 100% of transactions. We usually look at a materiality threshold, which is typically about 2% of revenues and assets. And so our focus is on above that, amounts above that threshold. We also take a look at funds. We take a look at the funds as whether or not they're considered a major fund or not, because the government reports on a fund basis. And major funds are considered any fund that's 10% of the assets, liabilities, revenues, or expenses. And those are, we give opinions separately on those funds. All the other funds are aggregated into a column called non-major funds, and then there's a separate opinion on that one as well. Part of the audit is assisting management with the implementation of any new accounting standards that are effective in the current year. There was one standard this year that related to compensated absences and the treatment of those. It really was one that clarified some discrepancies in practice over the years. It didn't really have a material effect on the financial statements for the township, but it was one that we took into consideration. As far as your audit report or your annual financial report is concerned, there's really two sets of financial statements within the audit report. What's called the basic financials. The basic financial statements include the government-wide financial statements and the fund financial statements. I mentioned you keep your books on a fund basis. There's a fund for the general account, general assistance, cemetery, etc. That's one set of financial statements. There's also what's called the government-wide financial statement, which is kind of an aggregated set of statements, and that uses kind of a different focus. It's more of a long-term focus. So there's fixed assets, there's long-term liabilities like a net pension liability, there's debt, compensated assets, things like that are reflected in those government-wide financial statements that are not reflected in the fund financial statements, which is more of a current focus.
Is that like accrual? Is that what you're saying?
It is.
Thank you.
Yes, the government-wide statements is a full accrual basis. The fund financial statements is what's called modified accrual. It's it's closer to a current focus. Its revenues have to be earned and measurable at the end of the fiscal year to be included, and expenses have to be incurred with the exception of certain types of expenses which are expensive. But just some overall results of the financial statements. When we talk about the government-wide financial statements, so this long-term accrual basis, at the end of the year, we had a positive bottom line for the year of $396,000, which is down a little bit from the prior year, but still very positive year overall. When we talk about long-term assets, long-term liabilities, there are factors there. Fixed assets are about $180,000 worth of additions in the last year, and about $420,000 of depreciation expense. So when assets get added to they're capitalized on the balance sheet, and then they're depreciated over time. Now that treatment differs from the fund financial statements where they're just expensed when they're purchased. I mentioned the net pension liability, so employees are members of IRF, which is a pension plan for all government employees, except for certain police, fire, and teachers. And the township contributes an amount that IMRF says to contribute. The employees contribute a percentage of their pay as well. And those funds are held at IMRF for the township's employees, future benefits that they'll earn over time. And that plan is about 92% funded every year. So it's a strong plan. As far as the fund financial statements are concerned, just a couple highlights there. The general account fund, which is the major fund of the township, operates pretty much everything is not specific to a different fund. Had a positive bottom line for the year, about $70,000, and its ending fund balance is about 75% of its annual expenses. So it's in a very healthy position. In fact, all the funds, nearly all the funds, did better than budgeted expectations, with the exception of two funds. The cemetery fund fell slightly short of budget expectations because there were some grants that didn't come through in the fiscal year. And there's one other, the capital projects fund, which is a non-major fund as well. It was just slightly off the budget. But overall, the results were very positive. We made a few adjustments, but not many. Just want to thank Tom and GAI for their assistance, Maria as well, and Supervisor Schaff for all their assistance during the audit. Everyone was very responsive, and certainly appreciate that.
Any questions? Okay. Thank you for all your help, and Tom too. Okay, so are there any questions from the board? We will move to the next agenda item, reports. Sheriff Santiago, do you have a report for us this evening?
Hey, good evening, everyone. Thanks for having us. My name is Santiago Hernandez. I'm the Township Deputy for Dundee and also Elgin. Aside from that, I'm also a field training officer, which we're on the road right now, so we'll be supplying the POL. A couple of things I just wanted to point out. The Sheriff's Office primarily patrols the unincorporated areas within Dundee Township, and of course the other townships within the county. We assist other local agencies and much more than that. I do want to point out that for our trends, for anyone who's concerned about what's actually going on in your neighborhoods, all that information is actually on our website. It's published on a routine basis. That website is canesheriff.com. canesheriff.com. Another thing I want to point out, because of the school year being so new, all of our registered compliant sex offenders are also on our website. Should there be something that is probably astray or something that rings bells, you all can let us know. Some of you all know your neighborhoods flying better than the police, so they're just a phone call away. Okay. Another thing I want to point out too, with everything that's going on with our office, we are hiring both corrections and patrol. Let me know if that's anyone that's interested in the field or any lateral, being from other uses too, you're more than welcome to. Also for all of you, I invite you, if you want to know our day-to-day operations, you can ride along with me. It's just a phone call away. Okay. We'll stick around as long as we can. If anyone has any specific questions or concerns, I'll leave some cards here. If anyone has anything else, okay?
Thank you.
Any questions, concerns?
No, we're good. Thank you very much.
Stick around if anyone has anything to tell us, and we'll be on, okay? Thank you.
County Board Member Chris Caius.
Oh, by the way, Officer Santiago has been working closely with us with our code enforcement in this area, in King County and my district in particular, and he's doing a great job. Although I've told him myself. So it's a new code enforcement team we have had only around for a couple of years, and we've been able to isolate and solve a number of problems for the citizens. Okay, I'm Chris Caius, King County Board Member. Just a couple of short notes, if I can. Thank you for your time, Madam Supervisor and trustees. Actually, the very first is not really on county, but kind of on county. I want to now remind everybody that we have it's our Fox River Day this on the 20th, which is a day where we celebrate up and down the Fox River all kinds of different activities to make emphasis just how important the Fox River is to our county and to our township, which right through the middle of it has great potential and it has developed a history. Our particular history in Dundee Township and the county with a lot of industry and recreation now. And I belong to the Rotary Club, and the Rotary Club is doing a cleanup, and we're going to be doing the cleanup. Our command post, as it were, would be in Auto Engineering's parking lot on the north end on the east side, and that's this Saturday. And then maybe I can just pass this out here. You guys can share it. From 8 to 10. Thanks. And so you're all invited. The Rotary Club and Garberville will be supplying garbage bags, grabbers, water, coffee, and donuts. Remind people to be safe and wear appropriately their clothing and be careful around the water. Secondly, KDOT will be holding a public information meeting to present proposed roadway, intersection, and shared use path improvements on Galligan Road from Binney to Freeman Road on Tuesday, September 23rd from 5 to 7 p.m. So if you have comments on that particular stretch of road on the west side of the township, and a little bit further, it will be at the Eagles Club in Gilbert's at 225 Raymond Street. The county is having another shred event, or actually the big shred event for the year for personal, free confidential document shredding. And you can also bring clothing, textiles, home goods, books, bikes, and leftover paint on September 27th to the Circuit Clerk's building down in St. Charles. And it's from 8 to noon. It's a big one because there are a lot of people bringing a lot of shredding items. You will soon see, hopefully, they'll bring you to this area. We used the county board appropriated $1.5 million of the ARPA monies in 2024 for the sheriff to purchase a mobile command post. It's a custom-built emergency vehicle. They brought it to the county board meeting, transportation board meeting this last week, and it's pretty amazing. It's a step up in generation. It's going to help protect. Of course, it's available to the entire county in emergency circumstances, as well as the township, county, and in neighboring counties as well, in case of those large-scale emergencies or events, law enforcement activities, crowd control, and multi-agency coordination. Of course, we hope that never happens, but we never know. Nature's kind of an interesting thing. And then if you see them, we have 106 new additional stream identification signs around the county. Hopefully there's a few of them in Dundee Township. And if you see them, let me know. I'd like to see it. Let's see what we're doing. More that would be highlighted streams and creeks, and they've been installed, which the installations will begin in 2002 with a student poster contest, and it's the first major expansion of the sign since its launch. And last but not least, unfortunately, I had to fight the other board members for it. We have a new edition of our bike map. On one side, the county road map. This is the analog version. It's also online, the electronic version. But I'll leave that with you. And I also have ordered them, have asked them to drop a box off at our office down there, so if you bring more by. So they're here for people if you want to know what is going on with bike paths. It's a good bike path to take along with them. And these will be available in the bike shops, so it's available there for tourists and other visible places for bikers. And I think that's it, my update for today. Thank you very much. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
This is also a new map. You might want to post it. I'll just leave it over here.
Okay, thank you.
To have it. It's a good reference. They just updated all of the roads and things that goes along with the bike path.
Okay. Highway Commissioner's report has already been shared. Assessor, will you be giving your report?
Good evening, everyone. I'm Mike Vila, the Township Assessor. I know quite a few of you, most of you here. Just a little bit of a report of the status of where we're at currently in the assessment year tax cycle. We are currently in the appeal season or session. We have approximately 193 appeals total for this year. Of that, 115 are the commercial industrial properties. Overall, our assessed value in the township is $3.16 billion. Under appeal, the total amount under appeal is $1.2 billion. It's almost a third. That's not saying potentially a third of the value could be raised. That's the total amount of value allocated to what is under appeal. But that's a lot. It is primarily the commercial industrial, as always. And it's the property tax attorneys and tax consultants that come and visit us almost yearly. And we go through this, I'll say song and dance every year, just about. But that's our job. And we actually enjoy doing that. We learn a lot. It's an educational process. Every year something's different. Being an assessor, being an appraiser, part of that role, part of that profession is constantly changing. It's real estate, it's moving, it's always different. So it's never really boring. I say that it's repeat offenders, but there's always a different nuance every year. Apartments are hot one year, industrial's hot another year, malls, non-existent. Correct. It's plenty of so we're working on that right now. Our first appeal, Kane County Board hearing, will be September 29th. I believe our last one is October 30th. So coming up really quick, and we're trying to resolve as many as we can informally. And when we do that, we always have a stipulation agreement. Have an agreement in writing, so all parties know exactly what is being said and what is being agreed to. Other than that, just letting the board know, we've had some sewer issues again. We've had this about 5 years ago, I think. It was our first event in the assessor's office. We've had 2 events in the past 2 weeks. There's old pipes in this
It's
building.
happening all the way down the street. All of us are on Howard here.
Really?
Yeah, it's bad.
Oh, not good.
Yeah.
The whole neighborhood.
Well, they rotor-rooted us in turn.
Yeah, it's been bad. Yeah.
There's been
So,
Gotta
that's
lower
our
the
second.
assessment.
Yeah.
No, that's right.
That's my report. Any questions?
Thank you, Mom.
Thank you for keeping me busy with plumbing issues. We appreciate it. Madam Clerk, do you have anything to report?
I have no report at this
Okay.
time.
Trustees?
I do.
Okay.
I am kind of going to regurgitate a little bit of what Courtney already talked about. Courtney and I have been going out with the seed pickers, as I like to refer to them. But this is Suzanne Massey actually helped put this together. These are the numbers from her. I would never have came up with these numbers. So basically, I'm just excited to share a little update about the volunteer seed program, which is run by the Friends of the Dundee Natural Areas. We kicked off the season on August 12th with a potluck at the Keebler's house. There was around 21 volunteers came out. You were there. It was good food, right? About 21 volunteers came out. We had good food, good company. There's plenty of enthusiasm to start the season. Since then, this is going to be 1 week in the rears because we picked on Tuesday, so these numbers aren't going to reflect the Tuesday. Since then, we've done 6 Tuesday morning seed collecting days at places like Snuffy's Prairie, Dixie Bridge, East and Jelky Creek. Each week, we've had between 13 to 15 volunteers that have joined. 27, is it like right around 27 different people in total have participated. It adds up to 149 volunteer hours, which comes to over $5,100 worth of donated time to the township, and that's only through September 9th. On top of that, the volunteers have already gathered seeds from 21 native plants. To give you an idea of what that means, in 2024, the total value of seeds collected was estimated at $30,000. Buying that seed would have been nearly impossible for the township, so the work really makes a difference. The season runs through mid-November, and then we'll switch to processing and mixing the seeds, and then they plan on spreading the seeds in the natural areas in the winter. Correct, right, Sue? Okay. What I really want to highlight, though, is how special this group is. The FDNH isn't just an effective group. They're welcoming, they're inclusive, and they're just generally fun people to be around. And there's never a dumb question, and I have a lot of dumb questions. Like, is this a weed? Is this a plant? Am I supposed to pick this one? Is this the right, yeah, but they're nice to me about it. I really have been having a really good time, and there's nothing better than a Tuesday morning out in the prairies. Like, just to calm you. We've got a lot of stuff going on in this country right now. If you need a day to get away, just go out to the open spaces, like Courtney said. But most importantly, these volunteers are helping to make sure that Dundee Township open spaces stay healthy for generations to come. Their work saves the township money, restores the prairies, the woodlands, and builds a community at the same time. It's basically a win all around for all of us. So, and I'm just grateful to be a part of it. So it's good. And they're fun people.
Okay, open space and cemetery reports.
Wait.
The other trustees, I have a report.
Oh, sorry, okay, I was gonna come back to you for mental health, but okay, go ahead. Yes, sorry.
Is it still trustee?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, I have a couple of things to talk about. The first thing I want to do is welcome Katie Began. She is our new interim administrator in the 708 Mental Health Board, and she is going to help us over the next couple of months hire a full-time administrator, or not a full-time, but a permanent administrator. And she started on Monday. I've had the pleasure of meeting her one time during the interview process. She lives in West Dundee. I think she's going to be a really good addition, and I'm looking forward to working with her. We also, the Mental Health Board has received its 2026 grant applications. They total over $800,000. I know one of the very, I think, common sense criticisms with the 708 board has been that we have not, maybe done as much as we could have done over the past years. And I do want to defend all of them. I've been on the board part of the time and now am on it again. That this is a new board. It was funded for the first time, I believe, in 2023. And so, they're getting their feet under them. They're pulling themselves together. This has been with a backdrop of a continuous change of people on the board who have to be brought up to speed and learn the processes and everything. So they're doing well, and now we're getting to the point where we're really going to be able to make an impact on the township. And one of the things that I think will be enormously impactful for the whole township is a police social worker program that we've been working on for now, I think, 2 years. There have been some setbacks with places where this social worker will be. We're working with the village of Carpentersville. The initial budget is for $120,000. It is my personal opinion that that's insufficient, but that is what the rest of the board has decided at this point, so I'm pushing for more after that. I do want to say that I was very fortunate to touch base with the police chief in West Dundee. I believe is Chief Brian Green, and he has experience with this, with the village of Schaumburg, where he was employed before. And so he is going to be one of our allies, and most importantly, he has actual data that shows what happens. We've heard this from one of our residents, Don Oramura, who was on the board previously, that in Bloomingdale Township, when they hired police social workers for the township to work with the individual police departments, that over a period of 4 years, they saw a drop in what we call crisis interventions, where police departments go in, there's a crisis situation with, which is scary for everybody, I'm sure for the police officers too, although I don't speak for them. But those kinds of interventions decreased, and that makes a huge difference for us as taxpayers, because when you don't have to transport someone to a mental health unit at the hospital or maybe the jail or something like this, when you can deal with that person early on, get them into treatment, get them to a better a place where their treatment is more permanent, then it saves wear and tear on our police officers, which I'm sure we all would agree is important, and the families and everything else. I would also like to encourage all of you to look at joining the Mental Health Board or submitting your resume to join the Mental Health Board. The Mental Health Board every year has 2 slots that open up, and it is the supervisor's choice to fill those spots. And I would encourage all of you to submit those resumes and encourage others to submit resumes to the township, if at all possible, in the month of October. The Mental Health Board does have the ability, and we've changed our bylaws so we can do that, to hopefully vet those people. I think it's fair to say that the statute calls for people who have some kind of affiliation, either expert or with volunteer work, with mental health organizations in the community. I think that it's really important that the people who come on the board have familiarity with how things are done. And I see this most especially, we have 2 social workers on our board right now, and their questions about the police social worker program are much more insightful and illuminating to all of us than the things that we come up with, which is not to diss anybody on the mental health board, myself included. We all care deeply and we try hard, but people with a background in this field just know where to go and how to ask questions and everything like that. So with that, I do want to just briefly go over the board also. The police social worker program is in process. We hope to meet with Carpentersville in the next month and get the details ironed out of where this person is going to be and how they'll be integrated into the Carpentersville Police Department. And their availability will be for all the police departments, all the village police departments, and we're going from there. We'd also like to thank our current administrative coordinator, Jared Sanchez. He's moving on, and he is staying here for 2 weeks to help integrate Katie Began into her new job. And then, nope, that part doesn't work because it's already done. We have the applications. My second part of my report, there's 3, I'm sorry I'm so long. I want to follow up with Charity and with Courtney, an FDNA shout out, and that is the Friends of Dundee Natural Areas. As most of you probably realize, volunteers in open space is like so near and dear to my heart. I'm like a flaming crazy person about it. But I will echo what both of these women have said. I have my closest and dearest people that I know in Dundee Township open space and in the environmental community. I've never met an awful person. I've met some people who are a little bit prickly, like the plants that we pick sometimes. But I usually find out that under the prickly is some really good stuff. And so I would third their injunction or to all of you to come out just even one time. It's so much fun. Or come out to a work day. And if you come out to Dixie Briggs from, Carol Weinheimer will feed you amazing things. And so just keep that in mind.
We had cakes today.
Oh, okay. Oh, we have Katie. Katie, the amazing cake baker. Katie from Sweet Dundee. Okay.
Oh, my neighbor.
Oh, yes.
That's right.
Yes. Oh, so, okay. The volunteers, and I don't have the numbers, have contributed literally thousands and thousands of hours. And that, when we do grants, those volunteer hours are calculated at about $34.50 a piece. So all those seed pickers with all those hours, we keep the volunteers keep track of that. And every year when we apply for grants or when the township applies for grants, and we have a match, instead of cash, we have however many thousands of dollars in volunteer hours. That's our contribution to it. The seed picking, the seed value is the same thing. So, and then I would be remiss if I didn't mention also the incredible expertise that we have in this group. We have a gentleman who has done a watershed plan. He's not here tonight. And he has provided, I would guess, something in the neighborhood of between $10,000 and $20,000 worth of engineering and landscape architect expertise in putting together a watershed management plan. And you've heard about it before. The township has partnered with FDNA. FDNA picked up $6,500 of an $18,000 $500 watershed plan. The rest of it was done by Ted Gray, who's an engineer that is expert in this field. And they have a budget. They have a budget. And this is money that they raise through donations and everything. They have about $45,000, almost $46,000, which they spend almost entirely matching grants and doing things with Dundee Township on Dundee Township open space. So those are significant things, and it's really important that we all understand that these people who turn out week after week are just amazing, and they're wonderful, and they provide great value for us as taxpayers. The last thing I want to talk about is the Summit Square Association, which is the association, it is soon to be a condominium association that manages this building. For those of you that don't know, the township owns the space that we're in right now. It owns the assessor's space downstairs, but the hallway in back of you and the other places that the township does not own are owned by other parties. So there's a condominium association which governs this. And I want to give them a shout out with the parking lot improvements. For the first time in well over a decade, the parking lot has been resealed and it has been painted. So you now know where the parking spaces are instead of having to guess and go and look in the dark and find a line or two. The improvements to the common areas, which are the fire alarm things, the painting that you see, all that kind of stuff, number in the area of $20,000. And so again, significant amounts of money have been spent upgrading the building, which is a really good thing. The building was in significant disrepair a few years ago, and there was a legal case that was settled. I'm not going to throw shade on anybody. It got all done. It's public if you want to read about it, but I want to give a shout out to the condominium board that they are doing a good job, and they are making this building safer and better and adding value to it. And I'd also like to, compliment the Dundee Cares Foundation, which has the new food pantry thing downstairs. They're going to be doing a huge diaper distribution part. If you look in the door, you'll see the whole wall on I forget which side, but one side of that room, which is a former gym, is partially empty. And what they're doing is they're going to be putting up shelving, and they've been working with the Reverend Jimmy Swartout to provide diapers for people in the township who can't afford them. And so they will all be there. Other organizations, instead of having to then, schlep on up to McHenry County to pick up diaper supplies for their various food pantries, they'll be able to come here and pick it up from here. So again, lots of good news in spite of all the difficulties we've had this past week. And with that, I'm finally concluding, and I thank you for your attention.
Can I want to speak positively to one point.
Only one?
Well, okay, I'll make two. Open spaces rocks. But you mentioned the social worker that would be working with the police department. I want people to understand, I've been going to these meetings, the mental health board meetings, and I think it was last month they were speaking. They have one person who, remind me her name?
I don't know her name.
Mackenzie?
Maybe it was Mackenzie. Yeah, go ahead.
One of the M names.
It's her hours. Yeah.
So she's on call 24/7, 365, because she is one person, and a lot of people might flinch and say, why $120,000? Well, even though in the mental health field that's going to lead to a higher salary plus benefits, we want to mention that that includes the benefits, but the added stress, the added time put in when you're on call, getting that second, maybe eventually even a third person in there will help split that up. That is a humongous responsibility. And I want to give a shout out to the Mental Health Board for pushing for that, because that is a critical service to our community, and I think that it will serve us well. Thank you.
Okay. I'll try and go really fast. Please let me know if you have any questions. We're not taking questions, right? Sorry, we're not taking questions. That's my mistake. Emergency and General Assistance Program updates. We're formally announcing the establishment of flat grant amounts of our Emergency and General Assistance Program effective immediately. Emergency assistance will be a $1,000 flat grant. General assistance will be $700 monthly flat grant. Residents must meet eligibility requirements based on 150% of federal poverty level, amongst others. These guidelines were created due to the absence of previously established parameters. By that, we have also established income and asset disregard. We found no proof that it was ever established before. This change will ensure consistency and transparency in how financial support is administered to township residents facing hardship. We did community outreach at St. Vincent de Paul. It was an event we attended at St. Catherine of Siena Church. We attended that meeting because we work very closely with St. Vincent de Paul. They have a wider coverage than our general assistance and emergency assistance programs have. So we collaborated to see what we cover and what our guidelines are, and versus what they can pick up. This is within their parish. So this partnership has the potential to enhance resource sharing and financial efficiency. We also paid a visit to Elder Day Center in Elgin, and the program provides a supportive environment that includes socialization, recreation, and health maintenance. Just because we went there doesn't mean we're going to propose giving money to everybody. I just want to make that clear. Dundee Township, Park District, and us, we have some intergovernmental agreements. So we visited the Park District leadership, and we talked about that, as well as we met with a lot of seniors there, and we think that we would like to consider going over to senior centers so we can sign up seniors who are in transition of being able to drive and not. So we can go over there and sign them up for ride and cane. I think that would be very, very efficient for them. With that said, when we went around asking the seniors what they would like the township, if there was a program we could implement, what would that be? The majority said that they would like line dancing. So I thought that was remarkable, and I said I will definitely look into it. So we will work on that, and at some point, if it is feasible, I'll bring it back up to the board. As far as intergovernmental programs go, the road district and cemetery has one. We have a shed at the cemetery grounds that belongs to the road district. Road district has invested in the past about close to $70,000, and they will have half of that shed with salt. Currently we have dirt in there that we dig out while we dig graves, and on the other side it's divided into two. One side has clean dirt. We will remove the dirty dirt and let them have the salt. The commissioner will set us up with a tarp because we've done electrical work for him. So I think we were all very happy. It was a fantastic deal that took about 5 minutes. So we will bring this up to the cemetery board at the next cemetery board meeting as well. All right, so the Madam Clerk filed an amended road district budget with the county clerk. We got a call from the clerk's office stating that the original was not filed. So, Madam Clerk, the township is grateful that you're going to go through that hassle and do that for us. We appreciate it. So we also did El Grito Parade as well as Heritage Fest, and we were able to do some outreach for open spaces. We wrote down what the properties are and how many acreage each of those properties were, and we gave them out at both the events. We've hired Jonathan Castillo. He comes to us from Russo's at the cemetery. So now we have 4 full-timers and 1 seasonal. Besides that, the happiest news I can give you today is that we have been approved for $406,198 from the fence project. So the grant was initially supposed to be $500,000. So we will immediately start working on bids for West Cemetery. Once that is done, we will go back, file a report, and then ask for the leftover from the $500,000. That's the plan. We also owe East Dundee Village, I want to say it's around $187,000. It's in our agreement that we must pay that back. We will have approximately $200,000 left to invest in the West Cemetery. So that's what we will start, and we will continue reporting progress on that. I still buy Trustee Harney flowers because she has been successfully doing all the jobs for us, and we're grateful for that. Trustee Harney, thank you very much. I'm thrilled to announce a successful collaboration with a local Christian ministry through which I was able to secure 1 full vehicle of food donations for the Cardinal Community Food Pantry downstairs. I don't feel like a freeloader anymore when we send our residents downstairs, and they always help us out by opening shop for us. So we're grateful for that. So they will be able to now pick up 1 full vehicle of food every 2 weeks free of charge. That has already been done, so we're glad to report that. That is all from my report. Thank you, everyone. Okay, approval of July 16, 2025 regular meeting minutes. Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
I'll motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, the motion was made by Trustee Day and seconded by Trustee Fiximer.
Any discussion?
Any discussion? No. Okay. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Day?
Yes.
Trustee Drake?
Yes.
Trustee Fixmer?
Yes.
Trustee Harney?
Yes.
Supervisor Shaw?
Yes. Okay, the motion carries and the minutes are approved as presented. Is there a motion to approve the July 16, 2025 executive session meeting minutes as presented? Motion?
I'll motion.
Second, please.
Second.
Okay, the motion was made by Trustee Day and seconded by Trustee Fixmer. Any discussion? Okay, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Day?
Yes.
Trustee Drake?
Yes.
Trustee Fixmer?
Yes.
Trustee Harney?
Abstain.
Supervisor Shaw?
Yes. Okay, the motion carries and the minutes are approved as presented. Special meeting, July 31, 2025 minutes. Is there a motion to approve them as presented?
So moved.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay. The motion is made by Trustee Harney and seconded by Trustee Day. Is there a discussion? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Day?
Yes.
Trustee Drake?
Yes.
Trustee Fixmer?
Yes.
Trustee Harney?
Yes.
Supervisor Shaw?
Yes. The motion carries and the minutes are approved as presented. Is there a motion to approve the August 2025 regular meeting minutes as presented?
So moved.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, the motion is made by Trustee Fixmer and seconded by Trustee Day. Is there a discussion? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Day?
Yes.
Trustee Drake?
Yes.
Trustee Fixmer?
Yes.
Trustee Harney?
Abstain.
Supervisor Shaw?
Yes. Okay. The motion carries and the minutes are approved as presented. With us this evening to present the treasurer's report is Mr. Coughlin from Government Accounting LLC. Mr. Coughlin, floor is yours.
All right. So I know I didn't present last month. Do you want me to touch on July?
Please.
Briefly?
Sure.
So July financials, we were 5 months into the fiscal year at that point. Revenues at that point were just shy of $2.2 million. That was 39% of budgeted revenues. All our major categories on track, halfway through the property tax installments. On the expense side, total expenses about $1.37 million. That was only 24% of the budget. So everything has been trending a bit lower. Some of that is from budgeted transfers between funds and capital projects that haven't occurred yet. The cemetery fence paying that off. So kind of some big items pulling that percentage down. Nothing jumps out at me from regular operations standpoint that is out of place. So for July, the township was at a surplus of $813,476, and an ending fund balance of about $5.9 million. Transitioning to August, we're halfway through our fiscal year. Total revenues just shy of $2.3 million. We're at 41% of budgeted revenues. If we back out those transfers that I mentioned, it pushes it almost up to 50%, so just like we'd expect to see. On the expense side, we're at $1.74 million for the year in terms of expenses. That's 31% of the budget. Same thing, if I back out those transfers, we're at about 40% of budgeted expenses. All of our big drivers, salaries, things like that are right on track there at 48%. So everything's trending good halfway through that fiscal year. We're currently seeing a surplus of $540,866 so far, and an ending fund balance of $5,656,624. We will see the next large installment from the county come in September, so that'll be reflected next month. If we flip a couple pages, just looking at our bank balances between First American Bank and our Illinois funds accounts, currently showing a book balance there of $5,887,311. So, like I said, halfway through the fiscal year, township is in really good shape so far. So, any questions?
I do have just two questions.
Sure.
Let's see, line item 1532448. It says open space donation expenses, 100%. What is that?
Full financial. July and August.
So normally we would budget, if we budget donations coming in as revenue, we would do our best to kind of pinpoint expected expenses to match those donations.
Right.
So we're probably at 100% now just because more donations have come in than we expected. So we have increased expenses to match those increased donations.
So the 100% means that we haven't spent 100%, is that right? That was my confusion.
Sorry, just find that line. Donation expenses, so year to date.
It's 9,000 or something, but.
So yeah, I apologize. So, we had 9,950 of actual expenses for those donations. Nothing was budgeted, so that's why I showed 100%.
So it's money that we got, I'm sorry, I know I sound stupid, but it's money that we have, but we have not spent it. Is that the right understanding?
Well, we have spent it, it wasn't budgeted. There was no expense budgeted for those donations, so.
Okay.
We spent the 9,950 linked to those donations, but nothing was budgeted for those expenses.
And what were they spending? What was it?
What was the $9,000?
Yeah, what they spent?
Off the top of my head, I don't know.
Just if you can get back to me and let me know, that would be great. And my second one is open space projects. It's number 153-2415, and it's at 73%. And I'm wondering, is that the watershed study that bumped it up so high? It's 35,000 is the total budget line item, and it's 73% spent.
I would look into that as well to see
If you could get back to me, please. Thank you.
Any more questions? Is there a motion to approve the treasurer's report for July and August as presented?
So moved.
Okay, is there a second? Okay. The motion is made by trustee Harney and seconded by trustee Day. Is there any? Oh, sorry. Okay. Is there any discussion? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Day?
Yes.
Trustee Drake?
Yes.
Trustee Fixler?
Yes.
Trustee Harney?
Yes.
Supervisor Shaw?
Yes, the motion carries and the treasurer's reports are hereby approved as presented. Audit and approval of bills. Is there a motion to approve payment of payroll and bills for Road District General Assistance Town Fund as presented?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay. The motion is made by trustee Harney and seconded by trustee Day. Is there a discussion? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Day? Yes. Trustee Drake?
Yes.
Trustee Fixler?
Yes.
Trustee Harney?
Yes.
Supervisor Shaw?
Yes, the motion carries and the payment for bills for Road District General Assistance Town Fund is approved as presented. Is there any old business that any members of the board wish to bring forward? Okay, I will close this portion of the meeting. For new business, approval of fiscal year 2025 financial audit. Is there a motion to approve the fiscal year 2025 financial audit as presented?
I'll move.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, the motion is made by trustee Day and seconded by trustee Drake. Is there a discussion? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Day? Yes. Trustee Drake?
Yes.
Trustee Fixler?
Yes.
Trustee Harney?
Yes.
Supervisor Shaw?
Yes. The motion carries and the fiscal year 2025 financial audit is approved as presented. The next item for new business is consideration for fall open space hayrides. Is there a motion to approve the fall open space hayride as follows? Pastor Foley, can you please tell me the name of your church one more time?
I'm not past.
Oh, sorry, Mr. Foley. My apologies.
First Congregational Church of Dundee, FCC of Dundee.
Okay. So we have First Congregational Church of Dundee. We have FDNA hayride. And if we're doing that for everyone, we could go ahead and open it up for the people to have a hayride. So is there a motion to approve the fall ride for First Congregational Church of Dundee, FDNA, and for the people?
So moved.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, the motion is made by trustee Fiximer and seconded by trustee Harney. Is there a discussion?
We do have the insurance that's been checked. For
We
everything.
continuously do that,
The
yeah.
township has an additional
Yes.
insured for both of them.
Yeah, and
Okay.
Mr. Foley had some questions, which he did clarify also. Yep, so The motion carries and the settlement agreement, motion agrees and the hay rides for the congregational,
You didn't call the roll.
sorry, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Day?
Yes.
Trustee Drake?
Yes.
Trustee Fixler?
Yes.
Trustee Harmon?
Yes.
Supervisor Shaw?
Yes.
Can I ask one question real
Sure.
quick? But this doesn't affect the one that the FDNA already has had planned before any of this? Correct? Unrelated to that. This isn't going to affect, okay.
It's a different properties, actually.
Yeah, no, I know,
The-
but
yeah.
there was a problem with insurance with them, with the FDNA. So
With- yeah,
the
yeah.
church has their own insurance?
Yeah.
We're not using township insurance?
That's right,
Okay.
yes. Okay, so the motion carries and First Congregational Church of Dundee FDNA and hay rides for people are approved as presented.
No, it's not.
Okay, is there any other business that any of the board members would like to bring forward at this time? Anything else for the good of the order? Okay. Motion to adjourn?
I'll motion.
Second.
Okay, so the motion to adjourn was made by trustee Day and seconded by trustee Drake. Is there a discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, the ayes have it. We are adjourned at, Lord, 8:11, is that right? What is the time?
Yeah, 8:11.
8:11. 8:14 on my phone, but 8:11 on my phone.
So 8:11 it is, I guess.
On the
All right.